right, well, good morning. This is our second podcast for the Yes Way, Jose. And, of course, your guest speaker is Jose. Well, good morning to everybody. We're just glad to have you back. We hope that the first podcast we did was an idea of informing you a whole lot. You had to drudge through the idea of listening to me talk for that many minutes. And there's probably some kind of award that most of you guys will get for doing that, but we appreciate you doing that. But today was kind of a day. We are going to, as we move forward with our podcast, we're actually going to have different guests about different parts of the community, maybe agencies that we're working with. I always think of things like Sobriety Sisters and the Turnaround Organization and some of the good organizations that are helping those less fortunate in our community. We want them to be on this podcast so that you can learn about what we're doing, what they're doing, and how maybe you can get involved or help somebody that might need these services. So, hey, good morning again. It's Saturday morning. We've had a pretty full day to start with. Before we started this podcast, we started this morning with our first Gaga Ball. Now, I got to tell you, maybe half the audience will know it. Most of the young audience will know what it is, but I learned Gaga Ball last year is a kids' dodgeball game.
Yeah, the only time I'd ever heard of Gaga Ball, by the way, Travis.
Good morning, Travis.
Burton. I'm the producer here. But the only time I'd ever heard of Gaga Ball, I saw there was an episode of Bob's Burgers where they were playing it, yeah. And it was like it was supposed to be like they were playing it with the older kids, and the older kids were like, "Why are we playing this game?" But I could see for younger kids, it's probably pretty fun.
Sure. I'm always the running joke is I want to see adults in there after they've had a couple of beverages.
There you go.
Yeah, that might be the thing for all of us here in the community is that a little bit older. But what was really nice about the Gaga Ball is first of all to learn what it is, but what you get connected with is I remember as a kid when we played dodgeball, we were throwing it at you, and it was that's what I remember being dodgeball. But as things have evolved, the kids have learned to really accept Gaga Ball, and they love it. I mean, we had almost a couple dozen kids today, and they played, and the games go fairly quick as people get knocked out. There's a couple of ways that you can get back into the game, but for the most part, when you're eliminated, it kind of goes pretty quick.
You have to throw it below the knees, right?
That's right. You actually have to hit it with your hand, right? And then you got to block it with your hand. So it's got to hit you below the knee to get you out.
Yeah, see, whenever I was young, we were trying to kill each other with the dodgeballs.
No,
yeah,
dude, it was the one time the person that you didn't like, and they were on the other team.
You were
straight
for the head.
There you go. And so I think for us today, being adaptable to such a cute little game for kids, and again, depends on the age groups of that. But it was fun to have it started because we're looking also for other sports. I mean, people don't always play basketball, don't play soccer, or maybe even volleyball. So we thought, let's throw a little Gaga Ball in there. Maybe some more of the kids that might want to just get out and run. So they had a great time today. They did it for an hour and a half. And then so we went from that to this is a very, a really exciting kind of activity for special needs kids. It's going to be a 6-week program that started actually April 20th, and it'll be for the next 5 Saturdays as well, about creating activities, things for kids to do, being adaptable to maybe some of the basketball things that they want to do, but we're looking at other activities. We just want the kids to have fun.
Yeah, I saw the people. Who are the people putting the special needs basketball on?
So it's a group called it's with the ARC. Okay. And that group is actually part of Serena from North Bullitt, Kim Whitlock. I've got Brandy Fleming. We've got some folks that have special needs kids or have been very much involved with kids with special needs. So it's a chance for them. They wanted to put something together. They had seen all the different clinics we had and said, hey, what about this? And we said, it's welcome. You're very welcome. And one of the things we want people to know, when you hear this podcast, know that anything that you've got an idea about, hey, reach out to City Hall. Just reach out to me. Tell me what you're thinking, because we got facilities here that we're going to utilize, and we make it at no cost. We want these ideas to be out there. We want kids to really enjoy it, but it could be for anything. We have an interesting situation with the Hester fitness group. They actually closed their facilities, and a group called out to me for the Silver Sneakers group and wanted to say, hey, we don't have a place to be. And I said, hey, I think I might have something for you. So kind of trying to be out there for the community. It's not just about Shepherdsville. If there's other activities and other things in the county and we can be of service, we're going to help out a little bit.
Right. There's also Yes Way Jose Mail.
Oh, yeah.
At gmail.com.
That's right.
I
forgot about that.
There.
That's right. Because we do want you to know that there's at least, if you want to just get a question to us, hey, thank you, Travis. That's what you're here for, to back me up.
Well, some channels are probably really flooded with people trying to get stuff in. So, just more places where we can get it straight to the man.
No, that's good. Because like I said, we do want to hear from you. Because like I said, a lot of the ideas that we've had in this community have come from a number of people. Yeah, we've got actually an assistant to Travis named Bullet. He's just kind of helping out. I'm not sure if he's supervising or he just kind of, I don't know. I think he's watching Travis.
I think supervising would be the wrong word. I think
maybe
trying to destroy
the equipment.
Yeah.
No, but I tell you what, it's nice that we want you all to continue to see. Like I said, as we move forward, we've had some opportunity for some folks, some people under the weather. We're going to start bringing in some different agencies and different guests. So you guys on this podcast, please, reach out to folks and just tell them, please listen for a little bit. We want you to hear what you hear, but we also want to know what you want to know about. We talked about that too, Travis, about music and food. What do we want to see here? What do you like? What kind of food do you like?
What kind of food? I like the kind of food that I put in my mouth. No, I would like to see more sit-down restaurants, because the sit-down restaurant thing, we have no shortage of fast food, and I'm all for more fast food. I like different options.
You better careful how you say that one. I think we've got quite a bit of fast food.
Right, yeah. But I just, we have Cattleman's. I love Cattleman's. It's good. And then we have El Nepal. Everybody knows that's the hot spot. Daniel's. Yeah. And we're getting more, but I would like to see more of that. That because I think that creates more of like the kind of community. You can have more events there, things like that. Yep. Those organizations tend to get more involved in the community, I feel like, than some fast food places.
So since you brought that up, and really one of the things about these type of investments are private investments. We talked a lot about the Aquatic Center and Town Square and Amphitheater, Playground. Right. So these things are part of the public money that we're investing. There's another side to this, and we didn't get into this a lot the last time, but I want people to know there's a whole private conversation with different businesses coming in here and been meeting with us every week. We meet with different folks saying, hey, how about this? How about this? How about that? Well, I can't get into details, but I can tell you there are very good conversations about full service restaurants.
Yeah.
About better shopping. I think, we talk about this Hobby Lobby or a craft type of store here. That would be awesome. We have a lot of folks that do these kind of cool stuff. So we are in conversations. There's an opportunity for a paintball. The paintball that was located in Louisville.
Yeah, you told me about that. That would be really
cool. That'd be cool, yeah. That's when the new dodgeball for us is you take your friends that you aren't really friends with and you go take them out to paintball.
Right.
See, we still can take care of those people.
We can cause even better bruises now.
Yes. So you work on your shooting because you want to make sure that when you take them out there, you get your money's worth.
Yeah. The problem is I get tired after about one round and I'm done. I become an easy target after that.
You gotta pace yourself in that first round to run the different places.
Right.
But it's going to be pretty cool. So the paintball is going to be kind of a fun thing. So we're looking for all that type of stuff to do here, right? We're trying to create activities that just are fun, right? Paintball is kind of a fun thing to do, and I think everybody I talk to says, "Yeah, I'd like to do that."
Yeah, I'll tell you one that we should find somebody to do because I recently went to a birthday party at one of these trampoline parks.
Oh.
That place, it's got to just print money. Somebody who wants to, a good idea. A trampoline park would be a great idea.
So there's the one in the East End, isn't it? Is that the one that you went to in Louisville?
The one I went to was the new where Mr. Getty's used to be in Okolona. They put one there.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And I've been to a couple other ones just throughout the years, but I'm telling you, you sign the waiver and the kids just go jump. It just prints money, it seems like, but I don't know.
Well, I got to tell you,
kids love it.
My son told me about the one that they went to in Louisville, and he said it was really, really cool. So I do. Hey, listen, those are kind of things that we can show people that we're not only building a community for us here. Hey, the interstate traffic is we're a very convenient place to get to. So
right.
You can just come here and jump around. Again, I'm always looking for that twisted thing to see a bunch of adults who've had a couple of margaritas on that thing.
Right.
I want to see that. I want to see those, or paintball, or trampoline, or even Gaga ball. Hey, how about an adult version of the Gaga ball?
I would watch. I would watch that. I don't know if I would play, but I would watch.
Well, again, those are the people you invite.
Right.
You just really didn't know what to say to them, but you can show them how you feel about them.
Right. What happens if you throw it above their knees? Is that just a foul? Because we could just take a foul.
It just goes on. Now,
how many fouls do you get before you're kicked out of the game?
I don't think there's a limit on those fouls.
So we're gonna have to do that for adults.
So there could be an accident that you did that to them, right? And then, I'm sorry, I hit you there.
Yeah. Eventually, there's gonna have to be some regulations for how many fouls get you kicked out of a game if we play for adults. I feel like.
Hey, but listen, we can always do fun things for us too. We're kids, right? Aren't we kids?
Yeah. Well, I act like one sometimes. People tell me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun because what we're going to see happening here for us is that people are going to see that we're going to have things happen here. Again, one of the other things that we're really focusing on, and I want people to really listen to this, we are really trying to work on a local brewery and a pizza place that we can have of our own in our downtown area. Now, I'm not making promises. I can just tell you that I'm soliciting anybody who wants to entertain that conversation, and there are people that are being very receptive to that. So we'd love to have in the next 3 to 6 months, maybe in some of these podcasts, that we're going to be telling people, hey, good news. We got this.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. We could have them on when they go to open the place. We could have them on. They could be a guest.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a cool piece, though. So there's a lot of things like that happening, but we don't want to lose this community thing. Like we talked about today, you know, having the Gaga Ball and having the special needs events. Those are really cool. And again, mention the Silver Sneakers. Just trying to be a good partner. This isn't just about Shepherdsville, but it's all about the areas around us too. And that's how you want to build. You want to build your community. It's just not just specifically. I'm the mayor of Shepherdsville, but I think there's a really cool thing, and people just need to keep talking to us. I mean, I'm hoping that they take these podcasts and go, you know, I heard this guy talking about some things. I've got some ideas. Either run by City Hall, use the email address, which is yeswayjosemail@gmail.com. Did you see me do that?
That was good.
I stepped up my game.
Follow and subscribe too, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Absolutely. Well, we were talking about the Spotify and Apple and the fact that you can go through YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube too.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm doing better.
And iHeart. Oh, that's not one I use, but it's on there.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if anybody has had the opportunity to get a chance to get some feedback. For us, feedback is good, right? Because we're going to be very adaptable. This is out there as a medium, but we really want to cater this as much as folks want. Travis, when you and Eli came to me, we talked about what kind of medium could we be. So you want to kind of go through that again, a little bit about that?
Well, my whole idea with the podcast was, as Shepherdsville is getting bigger, because I mean, like you've said before, and like you can just kind of look around, it's kind of inevitable. I feel like that it's gonna get bigger because you know with the battery plant going in, with Louisville growing, just you know it's gonna happen. But I think whenever communities lose that sense of community is when they stop talking to each other. When you know the development just gets so big that everybody, you don't know your neighbors, you don't know who anybody is. And so I think that this podcast is one of many ways to help mitigate that by like, we'll have people on from the community, from these businesses, from that work in the government that can talk to people, and it'll give like a face to the people who are, you know, running the city so that people feel like they are actually connected to a community. It's not just faceless people who they don't know who runs that store. They don't know who owns that or does that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the two things with that, when you have an opportunity to grow and you can bring more businesses and services for the people here, they're partners in this community. Right. It's a great chance, maybe just a little bit of information, because what we talked about a lot is trying to get the right information out, right? We talked a lot about the Long John Silvers and the crazy stuff there. You know, the mayor bought Waffle House. We'll have breakfast specials at Waffle House now because Shepherdsville bought Waffle House. But that happens, okay? And so maybe this podcast is just another resource. Hey, I need to go find the truth. And so it comes through this process in our interviewing. And again, people can always, and we tell people, use that email address, get on here in some way, contact us. If you want to know the truth, it's not on Facebook. It's not.
Very rarely.
No. Well, I mean, there's great things out there. It's a great medium for a lot of fun time. I've got grandkids. You know, my wife's birthday was yesterday. We really want to make sure people know it's a wonderful lady. You know, we can do things when it comes to those type of things. But when it really comes to the fact of how the government's running or what needs to be known, our financials, hey, reach out to us because we want that to happen. Right.
It's not that there's not real things on Facebook. It's that anybody can put anything on Facebook. That's so, you know, you have to wade through, you know, the ocean of nonsense.
Well, I do know it's got its values, but we always got to keep something a little bit relative to what's actually being put on there.
Right. Filters are not a bad thing all the time.
Well, if they use the right filter, for me, like I said, when I see some of this out there, I'm going to remind everybody again, railroad tracks are not us.
Yeah.
CSX, I know there's been a lot of comments. And the big thing there is we get it. You know, I tell people all the time, I drive over them just like you do.
I about bottomed out in that thing. I
did one on 44.
Yeah.
And so what we were told, and keep your fingers crossed, and we'll do prayers and seances and whatever we need to do. But I think it's going to happen. But one of the things we were talking about before we did this podcast, we're talking about some information about who I am. And whatever you've got there, my criminal background can't be actually exposed here on this.
I didn't ask anything about criminal background.
Thank you very much, because we can't keep that up. We've got to keep that on.
I did ask about your. There is a question in there about your early life. So if you want to omit any criminal activity, that's fine. It's up to your discretion.
Well, it's easy to say that when you didn't do anything like that. So,
that's always the story. You didn't do it. Yep.
I didn't do it this time. But I do think for us, we talk about where people. I did not grow up here in Shepherdsville. I was born through a military family, born in Berlin, and we moved to Fort Knox in '68. So, we lived a lot of our life there. I'm a graduate of Bellarmine University, played ball for a number of years, actually played ball up into this last year. Try to stay very active, got a wonderful wife, 3 kids, and 7 grandkids.
Don't answer all my questions before I ask them.
Well, I figured this way would just save them a lot of time. It only have to be a little bit they have to listen to.
Okay.
Not real elongated like this. But I do want people to know that piece. But I will tell you, as I tell a lot of people, I love Shepherdsville. I mean, I think it's got potential. We've got the financial resources to do what we're talking about. And we have facilities like this. We have this gym inside City Hall that we're able to offer to the community at no cost. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help those less fortunate, or just put on some creative activities that help really kids get, because I'm all about kids.
Yeah. So far, every time I've been to City Hall, there's something going on over there in that gym, it seems like. So,
because like I said, I think for us, that's the piece that and you talked about growing as a city. I want everybody to also know we can grow, but we can know our neighbors, and we can get together on bingo nights, or whether it's something for our kids here at City Hall, or whether it's the park. We've got to stay connected, and the best way to do that is to keep you doing things here together.
Right. And that's another thing is this podcast, it'll be able to, hopefully, if we can get an audience where, hopefully this will be a way for us to get information out for people to come and, talk to your neighbors, come to the community,
Absolutely.
to the different things that we're doing, and talk to people and meet people, because that's how you build community. I mean, that's how you build just on an individual, level. That's how you build your life.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They always say it's all about who you know.
That's right.
Well, where are you going to meet them at?
That's right. And so different things. But I do want to kind of segue into kind of the next event, right? Because, we're talking about community activities.
Right.
I cannot get out of this podcast without talking about whiskey, wine, and ale.
Okay.
Yeah, that's next Saturday. It's 3 to 8. It's going to be in the park. I need everybody to pray for no rain. I think it's a 50-50 chance.
Okay.
And so we'll make some adaptations there, but I think it'll be a great time. It's kind of like it has a kind of a real feel about like our food truck invasions. We won't have as many of the food trucks, but it's a great experience to learn more about bourbon and all the history here. Local wineries are going to be here. So it's just a gathering. It's an adult event.
Right.
Yeah, we want to make sure that, it's something that adults get a chance to get away. So if you got to get somebody to watch the kids, do it. Take a couple of hours out, come see us. But the idea is that's an opportunity for folks to at least see each other, talk to each other, have some fun. And we're creating events here that you only can be 5 and 10 minutes away from your home, instead of maybe driving to Louisville or Bardstown or Easton. I got nothing against any of that. So
gas is getting expensive.
It's just staying up there, man. If you look at a few years ago what it was until what it's now.
Well, the stuff going on over there now too. I don't know if it's going to get any cheaper.
Well, and everybody needs to kind of keep that in context, because everybody's like worried about like what's going to be like. But I don't want to get into the weeds about this, but we got an big election coming up for the country, where our price is going to be, and we see this stuff. And so that can be a conversation on one of the podcasts. Today I was just trying to say, you know what, maybe we can't fix all the world problems, and maybe we can't even fix the state problems, but you know what, we're going to learn to build a community here in Shepherdsville, and we're going to have a good time on April 27th in the park. Whiskey, wine, and ale. And like I said, it's going to be fun. We've got a really good response for it. Tourism, Bullitt County Tourism and Conference Center. They've been a great partner with this. We've been on radio stations. We've got billboards out. You've seen some of the signs throughout the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want you to make sure you come out. Even if you come out for an hour or two, it's going to be a great time.
There's going to be live music, right?
There's going to be live music as well. So I think for us, these are kind of things I want to do. These are kind of things, and everybody's excited about doing these things. This event is going to be kind of cool. I'm going to segue into a little bit of the Derby thing. We're 20 minutes away from Churchill Downs.
Oh, yeah, right.
We could be putting on our own Derby events, and that's kind of what my thought was. This whiskey, wine, and ale is going to be the Saturday before Derby, and there'll be kind of a kickoff. Maybe how about a gala? How about instead of running for the rosé, you have to run with bourbon in a glass on your tray, and you have to be able to do it at a certain time, and you can't spill your bourbon. But we will say that once you get done, you can have the bourbon.
Here you go.
See, I got to give a prize.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to, I got everybody signing up. I'm 21.
It's like that old game, what is it, the egg? Where you have the egg in the spoon and you try not to drop it. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
So we could do things like that. We're going to have things like, we're going to do like I've been playing around with that. How about kayaks with the name of the horses in the Salt River?
That would be a good idea, like a race, yeah.
And we could do a fundraiser, and then we'd all have the names of the kayaks in the Salt River and have to go a certain distance, and the one that wins will go for whatever fundraising we put there.
Yeah, and we won't rig it like the steamboat race. I hear it's rigged.
That's rigged.
I hear it's rigged.
It's rigged.
I don't know. I have no confirmation, but I hear.
Hey, what can I say? I heard it on Facebook.
Yeah,
I heard it on Facebook. I saw it on Facebook.
There you go.
But I do think it's really fun to put stuff like that out because we were talking about all these different things doing. How about just fun?
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Can somebody come and if somebody comes up with something fun, we'll do everything once.
Yeah.
We'll throw things against a wall and say, hey, that works. Let's keep doing that one. That wasn't quite as good. Let's try something else.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. But I mean, well, they do the bed races, right? I don't know where we could do something crazy like that. Maybe the Parakeet Springs parking lot.
No, we could figure it out.
Yeah, we could just put little cones everywhere and run those.
Yeah.
But I think the bourbon thing was kind of cool, right? See how fast you can run around?
Yeah, that'd be a good game. Are they going to play games there? Are there going to be like games and stuff there?
I don't know yet. No,
okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to be for this first event, but we are going to try.
Somebody needs to bring cornhole. That'll get people there.
Well, yeah. We'll have to throw some of that in there. But we want to have different events that we can celebrate the Derby here. Because a lot of folks do actually go to different activities, but I'd love to have something in Shepherdsville that says, hey,
right, yeah,
we're part of this thing.
They have Derby parties and stuff over like east of Louisville, just as far away as we are.
That's right. Well, why don't we have something here?
Yeah.
I mean, a gala would be kind of fun too, because we have the early one with the Valentines and the gala there, and then if we put something like this on for the Derby, you got a couple more for the year. That would be really big events. So you have 3 or 4 really big events that go for great things. But hey, listen, can we just enjoy the Derby? It's a big part of us,
right?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. So I think with that, I just want to be one of the guys. I'm going to try. I'm still stuck on the tray with the bourbon because I want to try that. See if I can set the record.
You should have seen the light bulb that went off above your head whenever you came up with it.
I'm just thinking, do I get to pick my bourbon?
Oh yeah. Well, then you could pick the really expensive stuff. That would be the strategy. I want Pappy Van Winkle.
There you go. So, and I won't drop any of that.
No, right? Yeah,
I'll keep that.
That'll motivate you to win.
That's right.
Yeah.
And do it. You got to. So the thing is, somebody could do it really slow, but you got to be able to just move fast enough not to spill, but to win.
It's very zen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a good deal. So so we got that coming up, but we also have. We talk about sports and different things we got going on. We do actually have the Shakespeare in the Park, and I don't want to forget that. We've got an organization we're working with. They're going to put it in the park. They're going to use that pavilion that's in there now, but eventually that'll be tied into the amphitheater, right? So that'd be kind of cool. So we want kids that don't do the sports come out and do that, because there's some people that kids that want to maybe get into acting. Maybe it's a school level. Doesn't everybody either want to be an actor or an athlete? So
I think everybody just wants to be a YouTuber now.
Is that what
I think so. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a good thing for humanity, but I think that's where we're going.
You think, is that where it's going?
It seems like it.
So what's the success ratio of that?
It's not good.
It's not
good.
No,
it's not good.
Well, thank God I didn't get into that profession.
Yeah, right.
I'm not doing YouTuber.
It's about the same as being famous. That's about, that's the new famous, is being a YouTuber.
New famous?
Yeah.
But is it the 5 minutes of fame? What is it?
15 minutes, I think.
Is it 15 minutes? With inflation, you only get 5 now.
Well, I was going to say, I saw a joke one time where it's I can't remember who I think it was, do you know who Daniel Tosh is?
No.
He was a comedian. He was a stand-up comedian. But I think he has a joke where he's like, it's 15 minutes. That's an average. He was like, so that's, it's 0 for you, 0 for you, 0 for you, 15 years for me, 0 for you, 0 for you.
15 years for him?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, you think about that famous thing. We all have that inside of us. We want to be recognized, and we want to do good things. But we are very self-absorbed at times. Hey, and it's okay sometimes. I just think that you go back to that 15 minutes of fame. I want to pick the right thing to be famous for.
Right.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, there's some people that went outside of the box to be famous and not so good.
Oh, for sure.
You got a couple friends like that?
Oh, well, I don't have any famous friends, but
well, I mean,
I see celebrities that are like that.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah,
that's good. So we got that, and then we also have the Mayor's Walk. We're going to do that. And one of the cool things about this is it gives us another activity. We're just keeping kind of connected, that we have things going on. Well, all these things are getting done. We're not stopping on having the things we do here. The food truck invasions. Dude, May 19th is going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
It's our first one. And so it did really well. The music's going to be great. We're going to try to continue doing some really cool stuff. But I really want to tie into what kind of music can we always throw out there? A little different genres, right? Maybe an hour of this, and have different groups. And so we're going to keep asking for that information here on this podcast. Hey, if you got a food that we don't have in this food truck, let us know. And if there's somebody that does that, we'll call them. Hey, you need to be here. You're going to have a few of these folks that are going to want to have your food, right?
I haven't been to one yet, but from what I hear, I'm not sure how many foods you could get that you don't have already from how many trucks you're.
It's 25 food trucks.
Yeah, that's a lot of food trucks.
And it's not cool. So they have the cheesecake, Mr. C's cheesecakes. I'm telling you, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. And then obviously margaritas will be there.
Oh, yeah.
I think we'll have 2 of the Mexican restaurants actually having margaritas there.
Yeah.
They're calorie free. No sugar.
Calorie free.
I'm making this stuff up as I go along. I'm in sales. So I'm making up stuff. But I do think
they actually help you lose weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I try to have as many, and it's still not working for me.
Not a medical expert.
Make sure you got the disclaimer in.
Yeah, right.
So that's going to be fun. So we got that coming up. And obviously, we mentioned the Mayor's Walk. And part of the Mayor's Walk thing is to kind of keep informing you. Because when we walk, we're going to walk through the park and say, the amphitheater's here, the dog park is here, the playground is here. And so people can see the different activities and go, oh, it gives you a better visual, right? So that'd be kind of fun, and people get a chance to ask.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I think that's a cool part about it is just being able to walk along with the mayor and actually being able to ask questions about this whole renovation that's going to happen to this park. Because, I mean, that park's going to be unrecognizable from the pictures and the plans that I've seen that you've showed me. It's going to be like a whole new thing. Yeah,
and I think the thing that we tried to focus in on the park was kind of an all-inclusive, a variety of different things. Like you're going to have pickleball out there. You'll have basketball for the kids. We're still working on our football and soccer fields. That's a big piece that we don't have quite into the picture. We did originally, but because there's some wetlands. And remember, every time we build something, we are in a fishbowl. I tell people all the time, 65% of the cities. And so everything in that park is in a floodway or floodplain. So we have to be very cognizant of wetlands and stuff. So once we get that going, I think it'd be a fun way for people to say, oh, didn't know all this. They could see some diagrams, but once they actually walk the park and go, oh, it's going to be there. Oh, well, that Veterans Memorial in the town square is going to be there. Oh, that's going to be cool. So, yeah, I got to tell you, I'm not going to forget talking about the buffalo.
The buffalo. Explain. So you told me that there was going to be a statue of a buffalo, and I looked at you like, why? And you were like, the Buffalo Trail. It's on our logo. And I was like, okay. I was like, tell me about the buffalo.
So for everybody young in this group, because I can tell you some of the older folks know it is on our emblem as far as the city of Shepherdsville, but it's about buffalo trails as they migrated from the east through going west. That's what they did. The buffalo trails were actually kind of originally the first roads.
Right, yeah.
Of how to get around. So
I'm familiar with buffalo trails. Okay. I didn't know they came through here. I didn't know that we were a hot spot for buffalo trails.
I didn't know that either. But as you learn the history, you learn about the buffalo trails, but also they like the salt in the river.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So again, Salt River.
Yep.
So
that has to do with Parakeet Spring. That's why they had the spring there, right?
That's right.
Yep.
So you have a lot of that kind of history. But what I think is going to be fun is if you come through this town and you don't get your picture on a buffalo, shame on you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're gonna see that buffalo. You're gonna take your picture on it, and I probably will get up there and hope I don't fall when I get my picture. But it's gonna be fun. I mean, I think it's just kind of a cool novelty that every time you go to different cities, there's different things you do and take pictures with. Well, coming to Shepherdsville, you're taking a picture on that buffalo.
Right? Yeah, my kids will be on that buffalo. I guarantee it.
We're gonna have some fun.
I'll probably be on the buffalo at some point.
Well, we've got a visitor here. Hey, Bullet. I just think he just wants to get attention. I think he's got kind of an ego like the mayor.
Yeah, one thing that we found out pretty quickly is 2 not full-grown cats and tons of microphones and wires.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they love it.
This is an amusement park for them.
They're all about they want to be on the podcast, I think. They're all about it.
Well, we got to do some scrutiny before we interview them, make sure they can be a big part, because right now, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They seem a little shy. But I think for us, we're talking about all these different activities, and I mentioned the food truck. I just want people to know, have some fun.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we're doing all kinds of things. We joked about the things that we're looking to put on there. But, hey, I'm all in for everything else. Cornhole is a fun thing to put out there. But you got other games that are out there that want to be fun. Hey, listen, we're all in.
The reason I say cornhole, I don't really play cornhole. I've played it before. But
it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's like it's portable horseshoes, kind of, is what I kind of look at it
Portable horseshoes, okay.
But people at my, I work at Ford KTP, and people there are ate up with it. I've seen people bring boards to work and play on breaks. They'll set them up in the aisle. Like people, they go to tournaments. Like they're all about it. It's like, Like back, I don't know if you were a big part of this, but like back in the 90s, it was super popular for like rec league softball for guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. It's it's the new.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And they got some real competition with that stuff.
Yeah. They get on ESPN and stuff sometimes.
I've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of money there's involved in that yet. It's probably not, they don't generate revenues as some other major sports.
Right. It's kind of like, it's the kind of redneck pickleball, I guess. Kind of. I mean, pickleball is cool, but like I feel like more pickleball is kind of like the high classier.
Yeah,
like
but you know what? I've seen a lot more people playing pickleball.
Really?
That's why. Oh yeah.
I haven't played pickleball yet.
I have not played it yet. We have it here at City Hall.
Yeah.
Monday nights and Thursday mornings. But we actually are putting 2 different pickleball courts in the park.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to use those. And I think the thing for me in all of this, I want to play. But it seems like it's just like we talk about Gaga ball for kids.
Yeah.
This pickleball, everybody's playing.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. It's hot. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's the cornhole for people who wear collars, and then like the guys who play cornholes, they wear cut off t-shirts. That's like
I wear the cut off t-shirts when I don't want a collar shirt unless I have to, but I do for a lot for work. But I'm telling you what, I'm gonna be with the cornhole.
Yeah. I hear you.
I don't mind playing pickleball, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'll do that.
Cornhole's probably more my speed. A lot more standing around.
Well, I got to remember, hold my beer and then toss. I got to make sure which one I get. I always got to make sure that's a big decision I have to make.
You have to be able to play the game.
I've got to be multitasking.
Yeah.
There's a multitasking. And by the way, last year I have proof from witness. I actually won a cornhole tournament with some buddies of mine during a Halloween event. So I still hold a trophy there.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I think Eli was there.
Yes.
I think that's when he met you the first time.
See?
Yeah.
And he's a witness.
Yeah, he saw it.
I am not that good, but we won that night.
There you go.
It was fun. And I think, for most people to continue to do things like that, we could put on cornhole events here.
Yeah,
we've got
for
stuff.
sure.
We've got the gym here that we can use. We've got other things at work. We have Sheppy, so we must be pretty good. We got 2 listeners, right?
Yeah, we got 2 listeners, and I believe cats have pretty good hearing.
They do. They do. So we have Sheppy and Bullet ask you to listen to us. Say, hey, if they're listening to us, you might find some value in what we're doing here on this podcast.
Yeah, for anybody, I mean, obviously nobody can see what we're doing, but they're just like climbing up on the table and like sniffing the microphones, about to climb on the keyboards, attacking chords, fighting each other sometimes.
It's an interesting part of our day-to-days. And people say, well, why did you get cats? Well, kind of the idea is that we were just joking about it, and the ladies just like them, and they're kind of fun here and makes work a little bit interesting. And I was never a cat guy, but that I've kind of grown fond of them, and they're kind of cute.
Yeah, I used to have 2 cats, and this is the trenches right here when they're not full grown, because what they're doing, how they'll just chase each other and fight and stuff during the day. Eventually, when they get to be about a year old, they only do that at night.
No kidding.
Yeah, they'll just lay around during the day. But right now, I guess since they're young, they're so full of energy, they just want to fight all the time.
They're like brothers and sisters. And what it is, and Bullet's got a nice left jab.
Oh yeah,
dude, he clocks her all the time.
They're fast too.
And
you see when they do, it's almost like they're punching like the speed bag.
Bullet's got something that Sheppy's got here. But I tell you what, I hope, I don't know what kind of feedback, Travis, you've gotten so far. The few people that I've had that chance to talk to about it, because we've been trying to endorse people just to come out and give it a shot.
Right.
Again, our plan for this is our plan, but it can deviate. It can be more adaptable.
I'm very malleable.
Yeah, I think that's what we want right now. Most of the time, please tell us what you think would be great information to put out there, because we want it to be informative, because I think you want to go find the truth. We want it to be a place, I know that I can reach out or just listen for a little bit and find out maybe some stuff I didn't know what was going on in the city, right? Yeah. That's a key piece. But we want to be silly too. I've always been that way.
For sure. And that's what I want. I want the podcast to be, I want us to be talking to the listeners, not at the listeners. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? I feel like sometimes, especially with like government and stuff like that, you just they put stuff out and it just feels like they're like talking down to you and stuff. But like they're just normal people, most of them. You know what I mean? So like, let's just, if we just talk, we'll realize that they're just normal. Everybody's just normal.
Well, I can't say that.
We're trying to do, well, not normal, but we're trying to do the right things for the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think that might be, they might go into a review with my wife if you call me normal.
Yeah, for sure. My wife would not call me normal.
No, but I tell you, it's something funny here. And I need people, if you get to know me, you're going to learn one real quick thing. I do a really silly thing called love Peace Chicken Grease. And for folks that have been around me for a while, it's from a really dumb movie, John Leguizamo. It's a movie called The Pest.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen it.
You've got to go. It's the dumbest movie in the world, but I loved it. Anyway, so in the beginning of this movie, he's saying goodbye to his parents, and he says, "Love, peace, chicken grease." And so I've got my grandkids saying, I have my mother-in-law saying it.
I've heard it. I didn't know where it came from.
Love, peace, chicken grease. Now, all I know it came from John Leguizamo. It probably was before that.
Yeah, maybe.
But I can tell you, it's just funny. And it's kind of a connective point because people that see me now do the love, peace, chicken grease because they know that's what I do, especially with kids.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time with it. So I try to think of things like that, make me just as normal as somebody, but marginal at best, maybe somewhat normal.
I'm still over here trying to figure out why chicken grease. Love, peace, why chicken grease?
I don't know.
Chickens don't even have that much grease.
I know, but I don't really know why. But it's the coolest. When you say that piece, the love piece goes good, but then you say the chicken grease, and the kids just love it.
I guarantee it.
They love it. So
sure.
We did this to start with off the kick with the special needs thing. Our opening ceremony for our event today was love, peace, chicken grease.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Yeah, the ladies putting that on. I seen them out in the lobby when everybody was going in. And they really seemed like their heart's in the right place with that one.
Well, and people forget. Now, this is a somber moment for everybody to keep in mind when we talk about all the different type of things that are in a county. We have over 1,000 disabled special needs children in our community. So we need to be very recognizable in what we can do to be a part of that because we know families and friends that have special needs kids. But unless you're really involved in them a lot, you don't understand the nurturing and the care that takes in taking care.
Right. Yeah. I had an uncle.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had an uncle. He it wasn't Down syndrome. I think it was. There was always questions on whether or not it was something that happened when he was born and stuff like that. But he basically I think his intelligence was something like that of like a 3 or 4 year old or something like that. But he's passed away now. But yeah, no, it's a lot. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And so we always try to think of things like that. But again, I always try to look at all different adults. And adults, there's 2 different age groups in that. I think that we were talking about the age group of folks that would listen to a podcast like this, right? So is that the 18 to 35 or 40, and then from 45 to 65. After 65, and I'm close to that age, we just forget about us. We're just old, and we just try to remember our names.
They're still stuck in the cable. They're never cutting. They're never cutting that cable cord. Yeah.
Well, there's things like that are true, and so it's really hard. So where do we get this podcast out to folks, right? And hey, you guys, everybody listening to this, tell us, where does this need to go? Who needs to listen to it? Because there are going to be things that we're wanting to do with this. My big thing right now, I'll tell you, young people, get out and vote.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we haven't gotten into this, and that could be a whole different segment.
Yeah.
But you know what, Travis, everybody's got to do. If you want to voice your opinion, that's the way you do it. And you do it as a group. Everybody says, well, my vote doesn't count. Well, at one, it doesn't. But if you get local folks in the community, the young folks, and you decide you want something, or you want something from your elected officials, or you want to see a business here, you can make that happen.
Oh, local elections, I mean, a lot of times
right.
it's not by that many votes, right?
It's not. Yeah. I mean, 50 votes could make a difference if somebody's on the council or not.
Absolutely.
Right? It's that close. I mean, from the folks that were the first 6 to the 7th and 8th, I think it was less than 100 votes, right? So if you've done a little bit differently, maybe even got to some folks that are younger about what's going on in the community. And that's my big focus. It's not that I'm, again, being 64 years old, I relate to obviously different age groups. Right. And even cats.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a cat guy.
Yeah.
So I think that's important for me. So I think part of the podcast, let's just be real. We want to make sure that we're looking for some of those younger folks to really find that medium.
Absolutely. And also the younger folks who are more, savvy with podcasts and stuff. Like if you have an older family member who likes, is more active in the community and stuff, like tell them about how to watch this, because a lot of times they just need, like my dad, I feel like a lot of times anytime I have to want to show him a podcast, I have to go on there and do it for him. But like I do it because
and then he'll like it.
Yeah. And then after that he's set up and he'll listen to it a lot of times. But then a lot of times they just need to be shown how to do it.
Well, show me once. I get right. I'm that guy. I've got my kids and my grandkids can show me stuff.
I mean, I get it. I'm to the age now. I think it starts when you have kids. Where you get to the age where you're just like, I don't have time to learn how to do that. Some new thing will come along. And you're like, I don't have time. I don't have time.
And when you show that it took 10 seconds. And you go, you do have time.
Right, yeah, right. But I'm just saying, like, you get to a point where you start to look at things like, do I have time to do that? Do I have time to, you're like, how long is this going to take?
Yeah. And it's a little tougher. I think for different age groups. Obviously, when you're in your 20s, I mean, if you have young kids.
Oh, I'm 2 and 4 right now. I'm in the trenches.
Yeah. Oh, you're in the trenches.
In the trenches.
You're in the trenches. So a lot of times, you might have to do something before you go to sleep.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Just take a few minutes out. And so maybe some people read books, some people watch TV, maybe you listen to a podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's a great way to get some information. And we are going to try to find that. As we move forward, we're going to put different folks on here, Travis. I think for us, and listen, Eli's not here today. So we hope he's having fun in Florida.
Yeah, he's in Florida. He's on a senior trip.
Yeah, so see, he's a youngster, and you've got to get him to keep focusing on folks, keep listening to the podcast.
I know, yeah.
So we invite you to listen. We're glad that you're taking the opportunity. We've got a lot more to come, and I promise you won't always have to listen to me. That's kind of a caveat that we want to bring on some folks that do really good things, because I can tell you, all these good things going on here is because a lot of good people. And I want to thank you. I got to tell you this. Travis, you and Eli came up with this idea, and I hope people at least get a chance to listen to it, to give this an opportunity and make this a medium that you can get whatever information you're trying to get. So thank you all for listening today. I don't know if Travis wants to add anything to it, but I think it's been a great morning. A lot of good stuff going on. But hey, listen, the way I look at it, yes is the answer. What was the question?
What's that? Oh, I
yes
see.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What was the question? So a lot of that is
you got me.
Yeah, I got Travis. I tricked him a little bit with that one. But it is something about telling people that we can do anything we want to.
Right.
Let's get the right people, get in the right frame of mind, and make a difference. And make a difference in this community takes a lot of people to do that. So thank you all for listening. And then hopefully we'll bring on some really cool people here in the next couple of podcasts. So listen, have a great spring's here. We're seeing a lot of nice weather. May your horse win. Mine's still running from last year with no jockey.
Still running from last year.
And no jockey.
I don't think it's going to make it. Then.
I don't think it's going to make it. But anyway,
is that a Bob Baffert horse?
Well, hey, listen, man, that's a whole segment. Did you hear he doesn't have one?
I saw that he got got ruled out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole ins and outs, but I remember hearing about it was some kind of like
the
drug.
Yeah. And so that's, guys, for everybody on this podcast, we could do this, but I tell you what, everybody's got their thoughts. But it's a great event for the city, but for the city of Louisville and the state of Kentucky. But I got to tell you, you know what? When we all talk about things, let's do it the right way.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. And Travis, thanks again for having me on, and thanks for interacting with me a little bit.
Having you on, it's your podcast.
Well, I know, but I like to make sure that you get the important part.
Oh, I'm not the important part.
Well, you're the guy behind the scenes, and so yes, if
I plug a lot of things in.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think I'm glad you came up with an idea that we hope that people can resonate with, at least to get some information. Even if you can listen to 15 minutes of it or the whole podcast, just get some information from us, and I hope it triggers you just being excited about being a part of this community. So have a great weekend, guys.